Welcome everyone to the PW Fan, the ultimate pro wrestling podcast created by fans for the fans. This is episode 174. I'm your host, collector, barber, musician, and most importantly, a professional wrestling podcaster, Talk Wrestling, Tim Gilbert, and we are back, the three of us. Let's pass it over to my other host.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcast, Andy.
I'm also your host of the No Style Wrestling Indie fan and football lover, Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy, right here is where you edit in the boys are back in town. Boys are back in town.
For 2 seconds so we don't get copyright.
Yep. All right. You know, we're going to go over the haps in the world of pro wrestling. We're a little behind.
Not the haps. Now we're not Sam Roberts.
Yep. Let's go over the haps.
I hate that. He's like, what's the haps? I'm like, it's not getting over.
What's the haps? Stop trying to make fetch happen. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we get started on the haps this week, please go over to youtube.com/the PW Fan Pod, where we ask you to hit that bell and subscribe, dude, as all the young peoples would say. Go to Instagram and TikTok. Look up at the PW Fan. We should pop right up, and that's what we use mostly. And if you want to support us by buying a t-shirt, go to prowrestlingtees.com/the PW Fan. All right, Booker, Andy, I'm going to pass it over to you. We got some things to go over. We're going to keep the AEW talk light today. Let's see what you got.
Tim really stressing that part.
I'm really stressing
It's not his
that
fault,
part.
man. I don't know how much longer I can do it. There's nothing that interests me on.
And that's a lot because you watch every single thing that's wrestling.
I don't. You say that, but I don't. There's so much more out there. TNA and New Japan, and I just watched the LFG finale today.
See?
Dark Side of the Ring yesterday.
If we got peeps watching on video and they see me doing weird shit with my teeth, I just went to the dentist today and they did some procedure where they took, the hook thing, like the hook scraper, and they did each tooth, one tooth at a time. She was like, "Yeah, this is a little bit more of an involved cleaning." Yeah, I was like, "That was fucking."
It's a very deep clean.
You haven't been in since you got married.
Well, no cavities.
Wow, Andy just outing Tim.
Dude,
not going to dentist for
put me
what?
on blast, bro.
Yeah, well, that's what happens.
I have a fear of the dentist. Andy and I went to some fucking mad scientist dentist when we were kids, and I don't like the dentist.
We done?
And he's like, so anyways.
I don't know how to segue from the dentist into Backlash.
You don't want to talk about that time that guy, that same scary dentist, ripped teeth out of your face with no numbing?
No, I don't. Nightmare fuel.
You ripped teeth out of
Yeah, you got to
bring them out of my head without my permission.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, he was like 80.
All right. We didn't get to cover Backlash. I just want to go through Backlash.
Just took a dark turn.
God damn it. Backlash. United States Championship Fatal 4-Way. Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. During the match, Solo would intervene. And then the big part about this match is that Jeff Cobb made his debut in WWE by attacking LA Knight.
JC.
Jeff Cobb would make his WWE debut by attacking LA Knight. They changed his name on Friday to fucking JC Mateo.
Why Mateo?
His real name is Jeffrey, Jefuri, and then
Jeffrey.
It's Kobu, Kobu. Just call him Jeff Kobu.
That's fine.
Isn't it like
I'm not gonna lie, Jeff Cobb isn't exactly like.
But that's what he's known.
I'm scared.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
But isn't it like a thing with WWE? They don't they don't use their real name because they own that. Then they can't own it.
With Vince, Julia came over as Julia. Stephanie Vaquer came over as Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought it was a Vince thing, but so Jacob Fatu would end up doing the moonsault on LA Knight and retaining. Then we had the Women's Intercontinental Championship match in which Lyra Valkyria would defeat Becky Lynch. Dominic versus Penta, an Intercontinental Championship match. Judgment Day would interfere. Finn Balor kind of delayed with a chair shot, which would cause tension later. And El Grande Americano would interfere as well.
I'm going to show you something. you've never seen before. All right, what?
How'd you feel about Gunther versus Pat McAfee?
The actual match?
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought they gave McAfee a little too much offense, but overall, I thought the match happened the way it was supposed to. Like, he put up a valiant effort, but obviously Gunther's going to win because he's Gunther.
I'm glad it was on the shorter side, too. It didn't need to be long.
I almost wish that Gunther kicked his ass even a little bit more, but I thought they did good.
He technically should have just like gotten no offense in, like for McAfee. I mean,
right.
Well, what wasn't on the shorter side was the main event: John Cena versus Randy Orton.
They didn't want people to remember that that fucking McAfee almost was like better than Adam Cole at one point than at NXT.
That was crazy.
Remember he got too good, and then they were like, "All right, maybe we shouldn't put you on TV anymore."
So we got in the main event the final John Cena versus Randy Orton. Were you guys in the feels? You guys watched it during the PG era.
And what?
During the PG era, you guys watched.
Oh, yeah. I didn't hear what you said.
How'd you guys feel about this? I'll tell you one thing: it was better than Cody Rhodes versus Cena at Mania.
That's true, yeah. But also, I think Randy and Cena obviously have faced each other so many times, they already know basically what to do.
So there was a lot of AAs and RKOs. Cena attempted a punt kick.
Yeah, that was good.
Orton had multiple RKOs. Orton did attitude adjustments. One of them through an announce table.
So is also every Cena's matches and going to end with him hitting the belt over someone's face and then winning like a traditional heel?
Well, this one, so the referee took a bump. Orton attacked officials. R-Truth would intervene, and it ended up helping Cena. Cena did a low blow and like you said, hit Orton with the belt. And afterwards, he proclaimed to be the epitome of world champion. In the post match press conference, R-Truth would interrupt his promo, kind of made Cena break character a little bit. Cena laughed. And then Cena would put R-Truth through the table with the attitude adjustment.
That was weird.
Well, now they have a match at Saturday night's main event.
I hate that. But I guess Cena's hitting the greatest hits of like people he liked working with. R-Truth, Capital Punishment, 2011, worst pay-per-view of all time.
That was off.
Little Jimmy.
That time period was one of the worst in terms of pay-per-view quality.
It scarred that date. That not the date, but the pay-per-view in the year scarred in my memory. It was that bad. Oh my God. Which is weird.
Backlash.
Because Punk was going on at the same time. He was the only good thing that we had.
Yeah, then after R-Truth, that was
Capital Punishment. That's Backlash. I just wanted to recap it really quick. Let's get in the Dynamite, though, as best as I can. Opening match, Will Ospreay and Hangman, who are facing each other at Double or Nothing in the Owen Hart Tournament Finals, teamed up to take on Takeshita and Josh Alexander. Ospreay and Page hit a combination of a hidden blade and buckshot lariat to pin Alexander. And afterwards, Takeshita and Alexander would attack Ospreay, which led to tension between Ospreay and Page. Second match, let's fucking get into it, man. Ricochet versus Zach Gowen.
I don't even know what to say. Like, first of all, like, why did this happen again?
Me and Tim were at the show where Zach Gowen first ever made a television appearance.
Yeah, it is weird that
Baltimore,
we were there.
On SmackDown.
Vince McMahon pulled him from the audience, right? Or Piper.
Yeah, or was it Sean O'Hare? Whoever.
It's Piper and Sean. Piper was Sean O'Hare's manager.
Yeah.
And Mr. America, I think, came out. Oh, just real quick. Speaking of Mr. America, did you guys see on Chris Van Fleet's, Ariel Helwani's podcast? They were talking about. He asked him about being booed in L.A. and Hogan was like, "You know, brother, I still got him nipping at my heels. You know, I can come out in L.A. like a heel."
I hate Hogan so much.
He said, "I came out. I had my
worst."
He said, brother, I came out heel Hollywood Hogan in L.A. with my black beard." It's like,
oh
no,
my God,
you didn't. He
No
was wearing
way.
red and yellow with Jimmy Hart, waving the American flag.
He wanted to be cheered.
He
My
was
God.
lying so hard, dude. It's so crazy.
Did you see also the thing about like the 100 men versus the gorilla and argument? And like Hogan was like, if I was leading the charge or whatever, he's like, we would win.
Dude, he's a compulsive liar. He's the worst.
He's a very big
Person.
compulsive liar.
Hogan fucking sucks, man. And everything going on with that new promotion shit fucking sucks too.
That was so stupid.
I told Andy, I sent Andy a gif of Hogan flexing. I was like, I love Hulk. You just gotta know that. You just gotta know what you're getting into.
What you're getting?
he lies all the time.
He lies. He's racist. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, I did forget about that.
People were like, "Yo, I love Kanye. You just got to know what
No.
you're getting into."
yeah. Kanye, oh my God. Anyways, let's move on from that.
Yeah, dude.
Ricochet.
Apparently, his new album leaked today, and everybody was like, "Yeah, this shit is trash." I'm like, with those song titles, yeah, I can imagine. It probably sucks.
That was crazy.
So Ricochet would beat Zach Allen. After the match, he continued to assault him until Mark Briscoe would intervene.
Wait, why were they having that match anyways?
Because the week before, Zach Allen was in the audience and Ricochet was talking shit, and then he threw him over the barricade and he took his leg. So during Zach Allen's entrance, he didn't have his leg.
I didn't see it. Did he come out with the "Nobody's gonna stand in my way"?
No.
Oh, then dude, that's all he had was that song. That was like the coolest part about him.
Backstage, MJF talked about his interest in joining the Hurt Syndicate, stating that being a part of the group would reduce variables and increase his chances of winning matches.
They gotta hurry up with this shit. Is he in or not? I'm getting
They
tired
invited
of
him to the ring. So after the Hurt Syndicate beat Top Flight, there was a confrontation leading to MVP announcing a number one contenders match for the AEW Tag Team Championship. Then MJF came out, like I said. He was brought out by Shelton. MJF and the MVP and the Hurt Syndicate all gave MJF their thumbs up.
Benjamin Shelton?
Yeah. So he
Benjamin
has been
Shelton
accepted.
and...
Benjamin Shelton has been MJF has been accepted into.
You guys know I'm saying that, right?
No,
because Hogan's like, I've been in the ring with some real shooters, brother. You know, guys like Benjamin Shelton, and then Shelton Benjamin like tweeted at him, and he's like, "Yo, we were never friends. Don't act like we were friends." And then he like was like, he's like, "So here's what I got to say." And it's like the Will Smith being like, "Keep my name out your mouth." Benjamin Shelton, dude.
Benjamin Shelton.
Serious note: Sabu passed away this week.
Oh yeah.
And on Dynamite, Taz delivered a heartfelt eulogy to the camera at the announce table. Talking
I've watched
about
a bunch of Sabu stuff this week because of that.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring this week was on his uncle, the original Sheik, and Sabu was in the.
That's a good
episode
one.
A lot.
My wife watched the Sheik one
Crazy.
with me. It's very fascinating.
There's gonna be one on Sabu, I bet. You see that? You saw that story that I sent you guys, that his last match.
There's a bunch of controversy. I watched a really good breakdown on Rob Van Dam did about the whole thing, and RVD, like, he's like basically was like, I don't like garbage matches like that. However, you know, I don't think GCW did anything wrong. And you know, it was funny. RVD took double the amount that you're supposed to take of kratom live on air, like on his like a podcast, and he's like, all right, we're gonna wait 20 minutes, we're gonna see if I get out of my mind and crazy. and then he just was like mad because he's like, I guess Dutch Mantel said something like on his podcast like kratom's more addictive than heroin, and then RVD was like, I guess I'm just not gonna believe like things that Dutch says all the time now. Like, he's like, if that's the kind of thing he's gonna say. And I don't know, it's just been a really weird.
I've had friends take kratom; they're fine.
Yeah,
they sell it at the gas station, don't they?
Yeah,
it's not like Spice though.
No. A lot of people
that will make you jump on your bed and be crazy. Spice. I've never done it, but I watched somebody have a seizure, so I'm good.
I watched someone.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't want this. This place is scary. Just smoke.
Moving
weed.
on.
Smoke weed every day.
Nigel, there was a segment with Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia in which Nigel McGuinness apologized to Garcia for interfering in his matches. Garcia encouraged.
You're like one of those. You're like, yeah,
The auctioneer.
Yeah, dude. You're like very fast.
Yeah, because fuck AEW.
Grumpy
Garcia encouraged
Randy.
McGuinness to stand with him against FTR. And then the main event, we had the steel cage match. By the way, this was Dynamite Beach Break. Fuck yeah.
Beach break.
Steel cage match, Jon Moxley versus Samoa Joe. Mox would end up winning. This is because in the end, interference by Gabe Kidd from New Japan, who slid in the briefcase and allowed Mox to use it against Samoa Joe. Bucks would come out afterwards. I think Swerve came out afterwards too. And it was announced, Swerve on the mic announced Anarchy in the Arena. Fucking fantastic. That match sucks.
They're going to play Mox's music over and over and over and over again.
Just, you don't think it can get worse.
Eddie
On Collision,
Gilbert, inventor of the picnic stand brawl. That's what everybody tries to rip off now. That was in his dark side. Like not the picnic stand, but the concession stand brawl. Remember? They were like, and then everybody's now tries to redo that.
All right, Collision. God. Nigel McGuinness.
We can just go over the main points.
We can you know,
I'm not going over it. I'm not going over
can
everything. There is some things. Look,
Yeah,
Nigel
it's
McGuinness,
okay. You don't have to do it. We're not like holding you captive here.
It's hurting him. I can tell it's physically paining.
No, I just have to filter through my notes because I have everything written down.
You're
Nigel
just like that. You're
McGuinness-
like, whew. And like, I
Because
don't
it's
know about
not good, but
Would you rather read the results of AEW every week for another 3 years or pass a kidney stone?
can I just get through Collision?
The fact that you took some time to think about it.
There's some things I want to talk about. Nigel McGuinness accepts FTR's challenge. Nigel and Daniel Garcia are going to team up to take on FTR. Nothing.
You got a bubbly stomach right now.
you gotta get through it.
Tim, what do you know about Steve Mongo McMichael? There was a tribute to him on Collision. Flair came out.
Yeah, he's member of the Four Horsemen. He used to be on the Chicago Bears, and then after he was done in the NFL, he became a wrestler. And Andy, Steve Mongo's the guy who in the Four Horsemen who had the long black ponytail.
Yeah, I know. So Flair
I had
came
the
out.
action figure when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, he recently he got really, I don't know what he had,
I
respectively.
think he had ALS.
Yeah, he had gotten really, really sick, and I had seen people over the last 2 years going to see him in the hospital and posting pics with him.
I don't even remember what fucking Flair said, but
Did he pass?
yeah.
So we
There was
lost
a tribute, and they were in
lost
Chicago.
we
That's
lost Sabu and Mongo. That sucks.
Yep. So that's all I'm going to talk about with Collision. I would love to get into Raw. Please, for the
Let's
love
do it.
of God. For the love of God. All right. Raw.
8.
Raw opened with the tribute to Sabu. Then it officially kicked off with Punk's promo, who he talked about his frustration over Heyman's betrayal
Called
at
him the Penguin.
WrestleMania.
The penguin.
And he referred to him as a fat little snake. But he admitted to being upset with himself for trusting Heyman again, who Heyman in the past, had betrayed him already. Heyman came out for a little bit, and then Seth and Braun Breaker would come out with lean to a confrontation. They would attack Punk until Sami Zayn made the save, and then Jey Uso would also come out. So I was talking to Tim. This might be the only interesting stuff going on in WWE. There's not very much.
Yeah, Andy and I were saying it's a weird time. I asked Andy in the car. I was talking to him on the phone. I was like, listen, besides the Heyman stuff and all the things connected to it, tell me something else that's dope right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's not going on. I feel like it's just especially after WrestleMania. It usually happens, but usually they still have a few things going on before they restart everything.
But yeah, but then they also like feel like they start the year hot usually, and like there's like it's kind of going to show what the next year is going to be like, and like I don't feel like we've gotten that yet.
Well, Money in the Bank is coming up, so that should be fun.
Yeah,
yeah, that should be good. That should be a good one.
Every time I've doubted Trips, though, he pulls the nose up and he gets good again. So,
well, Tim really liked the first match of the night, which was Penta versus Chad Gable.
Yeah, dude, Chad Gable's so good.
They had an awesome match.
When do you think that Grande Americano?
Oh no, he's on leave right now. Oh no, he showed up tonight, but we'll talk about it. Yeah, Grande showed up tonight on Raw. But Penta would hit a Mexican Destroyer to beat Chad Gable. Backstage, we had Seth and
How come it's just not a Destroyer?
Because, well, it's Canadian Destroyer typically, so it's the Mexican.
So it just depends on where you come from. That's what they're going to call your move.
An American Destroyer.
Or Adam Cole, it's Panama Sunrise.
Panama Sunrise. That's right. It's just wherever you're from.
Seth backstage instructed Breaker to have some fun, talking about, I guess, attacking someone later on, which we'll get to. Then we had what Tim thought was the main event and turned it off afterwards. AJ Styles versus Finn Balor.
Whoops.
They had a really
You're
good
watching
match.
this, it's like 9 o'clock. You're like, I think this is about when Raw's done.
In my head, I was like, all right, this is where the show should
ended
end
around the
right here.
2-hour mark. Tim forgot it goes like 2.5 now, but so they had a really good match. Penta intervened to prevent interference from the Judgment Day, and AJ would hit the phenomenal forearm for the win. We would have a promo from Becky Lynch where she would address the audience and talk about her loss to Lyra at Backlash. She admitted being selfish and expressed her want to reclaim her position in the women's division. Basically saying she's coming after everyone and coming for her spot and doesn't give a shit. We had Rhea Ripley and Io Sky teaming up against Julia and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne is now officially a part of Raw on the main roster, and Julia is now officially a part of SmackDown. But they did have a match together in the main event. Really good match. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky would end up getting the win over Julia and Roxanne. But the show didn't officially end that way. Braun Breaker would assault Jey Uso backstage. Jey was doing an interview. Braun ambushed him and on Seth Rollins' orders took him out. During the show, though, it was announced that Punk and Sami Zayn will face Seth and Braun at Saturday night's main event, which I believe is this Saturday, I think, like I said. And then Money in the Bank qualifying matches are beginning tonight as we record this. So, always excited for Money in the Bank. Tim wants Punk to be in it, don't you? We don't even know.
He's won it twice. He doesn't need to be in it again.
Dude,
We did a third time.
Third time's the charm.
yeah.
No, he's gonna get hurt.
It's going to get hurt.
It's gonna take
Those
one
Raws
bump
much
much
better
better.
than
He'll be out again
anything.
for a year. We don't need him to do that.
Triceps gone again.
Yeah.
Raw was much better than anything AEW put out this week. Because they fucking suck.
All right, take her easy.
This is the AEW bashing episode. Booker Andy's fed up.
Andy just got burnt. He got burnt out.
It's a chore for me to like watch it now. I just watch it looking for something that like piques my interest. I'm just like,
We should only do like big highlights.
I guess they wanted to do a love story between Paige and Daddy Magic's hard nipples, and she turned it down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
yeah,
she was
did
like,
turn it
no.
down, she said, yeah.
And Daddy
At the time,
Magic's nipples hard.
She's like, I made it this far without doing a love story, so I'm not doing it.
Andy, can you, for the old times, bust out one?
Do you want to know what makes Daddy's Magic's nipples hard?
I think that I think there was something untapped there.
That was getting over.
I'm
You guys,
not gonna lie, I was kind of with it.
you guys see the
I
post?
was too. He would show up, you're like, oh, can't wait.
I just wanted him to say it.
Did you guys see the post I put? It was like, this was the most out of pocket thing in wrestling, and it was the
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was from
Dude, it still makes me laugh. Brother, what does he call him? Brother Isaiah, or what does he say? He says he yells something.
Yeah, he said something like that, right?
He's like, brother, whatever. And then you just hear, oh,
It's like in the distance.
It's Matt Hardy's calling to the guy. What's his name? I can't remember.
His
Isaiah.
name is Isaiah Cassidy, but I don't know what Matt Hardy calls
He's
him.
like Brother Cassidy. Ah.
Brother Zay.
Yeah.
Brother Zay, that's what it was. Yeah.
We forgot to say that we were in Chicago this week, and we had the return of Sky Blue.
Yes, we just leave it there.
Everybody else knew what you were gonna say.
All right, let's get into.
Everyone knows you don't need to actually say it.
You've said it for 3 years.
Let's get into SmackDown.
If
SmackDown
anything's
opened up.
on record on this show, it's the fact that Andy likes Sky Blue's butt.
Yeah.
I'm not the one that started saying it.
You did.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
I think you did.
Yeah, pretty sure it was you.
I think Tim did.
Definitely wasn't me.
I think Jeremy did.
That was not me.
Don't put that evil on Jer.
SmackDown opened up with some stuff with the Bloodline. Solo would introduce JC Mateo, as we said, that Jeff Cobb got renamed, which is fucking terrible. There was some tension between Solo and Jacob. Solo demanded loyalty. He brought up, he's like, what happened to you always saying that thing you used to say, I love you, Solo? And then Jacob got on the mic, he was like, I love you, Solo. He's like, nah, you used to say it like, I love you, Solo. So yeah, Jacob.
Didn't Solo also cut off Fatu's like catchphrase?
Mm-hmm. He was
That
like,
was
yeah, what I mean, or whatever the fuck. I do really.
Like, I mean, he's like, yeah, I do know what you mean.
We know what you mean. Again, I think we've all been saying that it's gonna come to them too, probably at SummerSlam, I'd assume.
Again, why?
Why what?
But why? Like, why is it so important that these two guys feud? It feels a little soon.
Because Jacob needs to be his own man.
Yeah, he gets cheered and the rest get booed.
Stand by your man.
Golden Eye.
He's just a man.
A man. Dun, dun, dun. Stand by.
There's some real deep GoldenEye like 007 nerds right now jamming along with that. Jeremy has nothing to add or say to that.
LA Knight.
That game was one of my favorites as a kid.
I'm talking about the movie.
Oh, you're talking about the movie. I thought you were talking
Dude, I remember that girl Zania. She in the movie she squeezed that guy until he died.
Zena?
Yeah, no,
You were like, squeeze my head like it.
yeah, and I was like,
Pop
I
me
remember
like
being
a
a kid,
watermelon.
being like, I don't know what's happening, but I like it.
They're in the bathhouse fighting,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
When
she wants
she-
to kill him, but it's kind of nice.
Yeah, she squeezes him with her legs, and
She's
until
like,
like the guy. And I remember being like, I would let her do it.
It's the lady that played Jean Grey in the old X-Men.
Yeah, and then doesn't Bond kill her? And then he like looks down at her, and he's like,
Yeah, in Jungle.
yeah, he's like,
No, he kills her in
he goes,
Jungle.
she always did love a good squeeze.
Yeah, she got pinned up against a tree.
Ah.
Good times, GoldenEye. Boom, boom, boom. All right. But LA Knight interrupted that segment with a chair tag.
For England, James.
For England, James. We had a women's Money in the Bank qualifier, the first one. Alexa Bliss defeated Michin and Chelsea Green. So she's the first qualifier. I kind of hope she wins. Backstage after that, we had Alexa offer help to Charlotte Flair. I don't really know what is going on with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, but Charlotte rejected her, saying that they're not friends. Julia would emerge from Nick Aldis's office, and it was announced then that she had officially joined SmackDown's roster. And then Aldis teased Charlotte's involvement in Money in the Bank. I did see a rumor, I don't know how true it is, but it was a post that I saw that the plans right now for SummerSlam are Orton versus Nick Aldis.
That could be good.
That'd be good.
I feel like they've slowly been building that. Fraxium defeated DIY, Mercy and Machine Guns made the save at the end. And then next week we're gonna have Fraxian versus Street Profits for the tag titles.
What is Austin Theory's new look? What is going on there? My goodness.
Don't tell me. Don't spoil. I'm gonna watch after.
I'm not seeing it either.
We had a sit-down interview with R-Truth and Wade Barrett. Truth expressed his heartbreak over Cena's Backlash betrayal. He said Cena isn't his Cena, and he wants to bring the real one back. And if he has to, he'll defeat him at Saturday night's main event. He said that's not my John Cena.
My John Cena was the one that me and little Jimmy faced at Capital Punishment 2011.
Cena was doing an interview this week. He said, "How can I be R-Truth's childhood hero when R-Truth is 150 years old?" I was like, oh. I'll tell you one thing I have been interested in. It's Aleister Black every week. So that's one of the positives of WWE.
Yeah, it's
so much good.
The crowd, I feel like, still does not really react to it at all.
Yeah, I know.
They don't know what to think of him.
Only real ones know. Aleister Black defeated Carmelo Hayes via DQ. Miz interfered.
It's true.
Black would hit Miz with a black mass. And Hayes would actually do a top rope leg drop and leave Aleister Black laid out. Then we had Drew McIntyre accepting Damian Priest's challenge in a steel cage match at Saturday night's main event to hopefully end their feud once and for all. And we had the first men's Money in the Bank qualifier, Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy Uso versus Rey Fenix. I really thought Rey Fenix was going to be the one to win. I thought he'd be perfect for Money in the Bank.
You think he would be? Like,
you would think he would be.
He needs to be in it.
And he almost had it, but interference helped Solo out. Solo would pin Phoenix after a Simone spike, and LA Knight would attack afterwards with a chair. This would lead to an impromptu match. JC Mateo versus LA Knight with Solo and Fatu at ringside. Jason Mateo would hit what they're called the Tour of the Islands, which it's the same finisher he's always had. He holds him up like he's about to scoop slam him almost and fucking spins like 360 degrees. Knight jumped off the rope. I wouldn't call him Cobb, but JC called him and did it. They were both in like street clothes, weren't they? Maybe not Knight.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Jeff Cobb was.
Jeff Cobb's an Olympian, I believe. People are like, he's so small. It's like,
it's Jeff fucking Cobb, mate.
It's just fucking Cobb. Backstage, Santos Escobar instructed Garza to bring his cousin Humberto back home. We had a Shinsuke Nakamura vignette return. He's returning for the millionth time in his career.
He has so many vignettes to return.
He called out Aleister Black and LA Knight. There was a triple threat qualifier announced for next week. So Black and Knight and Shinsuke. I really hope Aleister Black wins, but we shall see. Backstage, Jade.
We'll see.
We shall see.
Born in the burial.
All right. Don't get me started.
I got Andy. Andy's singing some.
That was perfect
right now.
Backstage, Jade vowed to win Money in the Bank and take Stratton's title. Tiffany would say that you'll never be good enough. And then the main event. This is rough, dude. Did you see this spot? Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax. Naomi would come out, try to interfere with a chair. Jade Cargill would stop her, and their brawl would spill into the crowd. Jax kicked out of Stratton's prettiest moonsault ever. This is the first time anyone's ever done that. And Jax would end up grabbing the chair that Naomi brought. Fucking Stratton drop-kicked the chair right into Nia's fucking face, dude. Instant gash, blood pouring down her I was like, God damn.
Some might say that's called karma.
Dude, it looked like it hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Right before that, though, there was a spot where Nia dropped onto Stratton in the corner, and that looked brutal. But, man, when Stratton fucking kicked that shit, it was just blood. And then the picture of her gash online, she was visibly fucking bleeding terribly after that match. Tiffany would retain. That's the shows for this week. I wanted to go over real quick, though, because it's this Saturday, some predictions for Saturday night's main event. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? What's that from, Tim?
Mind freak.
Yeah.
No,
mind freak. No.
Freak. Mind freak. Are you ready? Are you ready? He's like, my name is Chris Angel. I got some magic to do for you.
Shit.
Oh, you know what's so funny?
What's so funny, Jeremy?
On Viva La Bam, there's one episode where they go to Mexico.
Oh yeah.
And
Molesta Labrestas?
what's
Melissa Labrestas. That's what it is. Melissa Labrestas.
You just told me it was Molesta Labrestas.
who what's
Tim,
the,
this
what's
year,
the
both just watched all of Viva La Bam start to finish.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to restart after watching all
Tim
these.
owns
But
it all, man. Tim owns it all.
I got it all. I got it all on disc.
what is that uncle's name again? Who like they
Don
put
Vito.
titles?
Vito.
Vito. Yeah, where he's like, I don't speak Mexican though. He's like, first of all, it's not Mexican.
Oh yeah.
It's Spanish.
He's like, I'll speak Mexican. He's like, it's Spanish. And he's like, if you learn 3 Spanish sentences, I'll give you the Hummer.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the one. That's the last one where he's like, all right. Bam's like, I can't believe he's actually gonna get this fucking Hummer. He's like, all right, last sentence. Can I touch your breasts? And then Vito's like, Melissa Labrestas.
He had been
It's like-
studying for like a week.
Yeah, he's like, that's not, he's like, that's not it. But Decode told him it was, and he's like, he told me it was Melissa Labrestas. Molesta Labrestas. So
shit.
awful.
All right.
Can't say that anymore.
You probably never could. All right, let's go over some matches. You ready? Right now, I'm only seeing 4 announced. Maybe one more will be announced tonight or Friday. Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, steel cage match.
Drew.
Tim,
Drew, he needs it.
right now the betting odds are Damian Priest has a 71.4% chance likelihood of winning.
Really?
Wow.
I would take the bet on Drew, to be honest.
John Cena versus R-Truth.
John Cena.
John Cena.
John Cena is a minus 5,000. So yeah,
And he's gonna win by hitting the title across Drew's face.
he has a 98% likelihood of winning. Jey Uso versus Logan Paul.
Jey Uso.
Jay.
Now, I will make a prediction now. Jay wins. Gunther has the winner of those two. It's already been announced at Money in the Bank. Goldberg costs Gunther the title. Goldberg versus Gunther at SummerSlam. Remember me saying it now.
Remember me
I
saying
hope
that.
not, though.
Well,
I don't want to see Goldberg.
dude, they planted the seeds when he told Brett, he's like, you were my favorite. He's like, no, actually, it was Bill Goldberg was my favorite.
Ah, that's such a great line.
So good. Why do I see stuff? It's like, can't have that. Not on Bret Hart's internet. It's always things like that. It's like, if only Goldberg hadn't injured him, he would have owned the internet. Or like things like that are just like,
Yeah.
this would have happened if Goldberg never injured him.
I was just watching Brett versus 1-2-3 Kid the other night from that Raw that everybody
good.
talks about. I just was watching Brett. I was like, so good. God. Everything he does is just like, he's the excellence of execution. But when I was a kid, I thought he was so boring. And
Who's
then
better?
but then that DVD came out in 2006, and I watched his whole life story. It's like when he mended fences with Vince a little bit. I was a Brett guy from then on.
Who's better, Tim? Owen or Brett?
I mean, I'm a Brett guy, but arguably, some people think Owen might have even been even better.
All right, one more match. This might be hard for y'all because you got to also think about the story. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker taking on Sami Zayn and CM Punk.
Seth.
Seth and Braun are going to win.
Yeah, I would say probably Seth. But it's a hot angle.
Oh my god! All right, and then
Hot
I wanted
angle.
to tell you this, Tim, because I think you'd be interested. Shawn Michaels released his Mount Rushmore today.
Oh,
I don't think it's who you'd expect, but
Hang on. I think. Let me guess. Let me guess two.
okay.
Flair's on there,
Yeah.
and then Beautiful Bobby.
No.
What about one of the guys from the Rock and Roll Express?
No.
All right.
He said, I always put Terry Funk in there. So that's his first sentence.
Okay.
He said, I usually put Harley Race in there, Ric Flair, and then that fourth one's always a little tough for me. It goes to Tully Blanchard because that's who I grew up with, or Wahoo McDaniel.
Okay.
That's why I said it might be surprising. But we knew Flair would be in there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You got to think the era he grew up in. So
Yeah, true.
yeah. Fucking hate that voice, dude. That's it, boyos. We're
All
back.
right, boyos. What a way to go out. I don't have a classic show of the week.
Watch Dark Side. Catch up on
Watch
Dark Side
because it's freaking.
Do you have
good.
a Sabu moment?
Yeah, when RVD and him got pulled over for smoking weed. No.
That's a good one.
And RVD had to drop all of his titles after being a double champion.
I just like all the footage of him like doing like the Arabian face buster and like jumping from. One of my favorite things is he did would jump from the chair to the rope and then use the rope as a springboard and do a front flip to the outside. That was always pretty crazy.
I hear he's a really nice guy, like backstage.
Yeah. He has a very funny list of fuck yous at the end of his book. That's worth reading. It's just, and he has funny reasons for all.
He has
of
a
them.
book.
Yeah,
You have the book. Do you
I
own
don't
it?
have it, but I heard about the ending and I read the fuck you part.
Gotcha.
But yeah, go watch
some Sabu matches.
watch some Sabu. Nothing from ECW 2006. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
You know, while you're at it, why don't you just get on the cock?
Hello, Kitty.
There's a kitty. Get on the cock and
Get on the cock.
sit on the cock and put on the Rise and Fall of ECW documentary. It's good. It's great.
It's good.
You like it, you love it, you want some more of it. All right, we'll see you next week.
Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You have been